Hi everybody, it's me Tanisha here, ready to go over March's budget. We talked about what I projected for March, and now we're going to talk about what actually happened, which I always think is exciting because it's like no matter how much you plan, no matter how much you think you have it all figured out, things are bound to change. But first, let's talk about the income. So in the beginning of March's budget, you've seen that I made a projection. I projected that I would bring in $11,085 in income, and I wanted to challenge the universe, the unicorns, the essence, all of that stuff. I wanted to bring in over $12,000 in income. So here is what happened. So $11,085. Can we even see that? Does that even focus? Okay. Oh. That's what I projected to bring in for March. Shortly after making that projection, like the next day, the very next day, I believe it was like March 1st or March 2nd, I started getting evidence that money was on its way, hitting me up in my inbox, different deals that were put in place that were to come through, and I was like, oh wow, this is exciting. The first thing that happened is, oh gosh, I did all my math wrong. 11, 3, 10, 9, 6, 1, 4. All right, this is just all wrong. All right, so the first thing that happened is in February, I had projected that I was going to receive some income, and I told you guys that it was $375 short of what I was anticipating, my February income. That $375 actually came through in March. There was no reason for it to come through, but things happened, and next thing I know, I received that income. The other thing I received, $65 dividend check from my bank. The credit union that I'm a part of, I guess they give members dividends or something. I don't know, depending on something. So I received a $65 check. That brought what I made up to $11,525. And then I actually made $6 more than I projected. So we were at $11,531. March was coming to a close, and it was like March 29th, and I came to peace with the fact that I may not have over $12,000 in my bank account by the close of March, but there was other things in play that were on their way, and I was super excited for that because it was like, wow, I actually manifested these things. I actually manifested these things being put into play, being put into action. So the fact that they weren't actually tangible inside of my bank account in March was okay by me, because I know that, you know, April's coming and the money should continue to flow in through the month of April. So again, now we're on March 29th. And as soon as I said that, I wrote it all out in a gratitude list, and it was beautiful, and I felt beautiful about it and okay with it. $620 was deposited into my bank account, making my March income $12,151. So I actually made that goal of receiving over $12,000 in March income without actually doing anything extra to receive it. That $620, that was basically like freelance work that came in and was paid out. That $620 actually came, like the work was set up the beginning of March, like March 1st, March 2nd. I I had no idea when it would actually hit the bank account. That's why I was like, okay, money's going to be rolling in April. And I'm also set up in a place where I have even more money that's rolling in. It hadn't hit my bank account in March, but it should be getting in sometime in April, maybe, hopefully, who knows, we'll see. So that's the first thing. That's the first win that actually happened, over $12,000 in income. And now let's take a look at how my March was spent. Okay, I'm back. Let's talk about March's review. I'm going to try not to shake around too much, and I'm going to try to make this, I don't know, a decent time. But I have so many things I want to talk about, so we'll see what happens. This is March's income story. In the column right here, this is what I had projected at the beginning of March, end of February, beginning of March time frame. The column right here is what actually happened. Things highlighted in blue means that I did a little worse than I projected, and things highlighted in orange means I did better than expected. So we already talked about the first part. I brought in an income after taxes, after payroll deductions, after 12% of my 401k was taken out of my checks. I brought in a take-home pay of $12,151. Gifts. I projected I would give $900 in gifts, and I actually gave $1,040 in gifts, which that's kind of highlighted in blue, but it's also outlined in orange, because how can giving be bad? So yeah, so you know, I don't know. Sometimes I may give more than I budgeted, but who cares? Because giving is always good. In this case, I actually donated to the Eugene Redmond Learning Center in St. Louis. Eugene is an amazing writer, amazing poet. Love him so much. So I donated there. And then also I told you guys it was my son's birthday. And I did pretty well. We went out to eat for his birthday. We went to Dukum, Ethiopian restaurant, which he requested. I gave him all of these options, and he rejected all of them. I mean, they were options that would have cost more money. But yo, he's a foodie. So we went out to eat. I also got him a leather Kenneth Cole briefcase, messenger bag action. And I also got him a pair of matching dress shoes for his birthday. Had pretty good deals. I had gift certificate that I was able to use to offset some of the price. So I stayed well within budget for that. Mortgage, $3,100. Also HOA, $95. Gas, $100. Electricity, $200. Cable, I projected $155. But actually paid $160. I told you guys that I wasn't sure how much the cable bill was going to be, being that I had up my internet. So came to $160. This month I do plan on returning 2 more cable boxes. I'm trying to wean myself off of cable and make my house a less dependent cable household. So we'll see what happens. Going to return 2 more boxes. I think they said something like that should bring the bill down another $12. Cell phone, $285. That is a little high. Told you why last week. So it should be lower this month in April. Security systems, $125. Subscriptions, we have a change there. Subscriptions was $35. That included Netflix and my Abraham Hicks bi-weekly recordings that I receive. I decided to stop getting the Abraham Hicks bi-weekly recordings. There's a lot of great information on YouTube. Housekeepers, I scheduled $255, only did $105. The housekeepers used to come bi-weekly without my consent, or you know, without my, they just came. It was scheduled automatically. Now, ever since the fork incident, they now wait for me to call to schedule the appointments. I'm not scheduling the appointments. I'm now cleaning myself. So in April, we'll see that that $105 is going to actually be $0. And I love that because I am now working aggressively to pay off my home. And again, remember, I'm that girl who was all like, housekeepers, I will not be doing without a housekeeper. Yeah, I will. Checking account, $205 instead of $365. Once again, we just do what it takes to bring the checking account back to a number that I set for this month. For March, it was $135 a paycheck, and so it only took me $205 to bring it back up to that in between paychecks. Hair and nails, $50 is what I spent. Did my nails myself. And then, so didn't get a mani or pedi. And then also my mom, when she came, she did my hair and I paid her $50 for that. Conferences, I also decided not to attend the Abraham Hicks conference. That $65 was for the National Black Writers Conference in New York. And, yeah, and again, I decided not to do the Abraham Hicks conference only because I will be doing a few other cruises with them later on in the year. So saved money there. Easter, budgeted $200, spent $173. 6 of my nephews and nieces were supposed to come down. 7 actually showed up, and we had a lot of great fun, a lot of free fun. So, like, you know, they was able to write on my walls, play pool, get in a hot tub, play air hockey and foosball and all of that stuff. We went to the zoo. We did a lot of events in my neighborhood that was free for Easter. I also did my Easter egg hunt, the annual Easter egg hunt, and it was good. Good times having them here. $250 that I budgeted for LA did not get spent because the LA trip got canceled. $215 for insurances. $160 for Asia. Asia trip is completely paid for. The Asia trip is scheduled to happen in November. This is my first time paying for something so far in advance, so I'm excited about that. Taxes, I budgeted $575. It came to $580. And the taxes, that price includes not only them doing my taxes, but the insurances in case I need them in the future. So it gives me that guarantee. So what I didn't budget for was this right here, car registrations. I did not realize that they were due until like the last day of the month, which is when they were due. So $170 paid for 2 of my cars being registered plus an emissions test. In April, I still have 1 more car to be registered and an inspection on a car. Here, this is, I don't really budget for gas, restaurants, and groceries. What I do is just try to be mindful of my spending, and I try to do better. Here is what I spent last month, and this is what you see I spent this month. Way out of control. Gas last month was $66. This month it was $190. That's because I went to DC a little more this month, and then also when I got the kids, we traded cars. So I had my brother-in-law's Expedition, which actually takes a lot of gas. It does, you know, it doesn't do as well on gas. And then restaurants, $132 last month. This month, $302 because I'm greedy. I reverted back to my greedy ways. Again, it was my son's birthday, so some of that had to do with going out to eat with him, but a lot of it also had to do with me just going out to eat with me. I took myself to Red Lobster. I took myself to Ford's Fish Shack. And we did some fast food things. It wasn't necessary. I'm going to do much better this month now that I see those numbers, and I'm like, you know, what I came up with was this. In these numbers, had I did something a little more comparable to last month, this is what it could have looked like. I could have saved $310, and that could have went toward paying off my home. Even if this $310 was applied once to my mortgage, it would have resulted in me paying my house off 3 months earlier than scheduled. If this $310 is added monthly to my mortgage, it can take a 30-year mortgage down to being paid off in 22 years. That's the power of taking this extra money that we have and sending it to our goals instead of just spending it because we have it and because we can. Miscellaneous credit cards, $80, which was actually pretty good. I have some of the things that I purchased with that $80. Again, my girlfriend, her book came out. Tracy Charles McGee, Melting the Blues. So I purchased 2 copies of this book. And we went to her book signing, which also resulted in that restaurant fee. And then my son, he gave me this flower pot, but he did not give me this bottom piece to catch water. And so I went and bought that bottom piece. And then on my arm, what we have here, these are headbands. I love headbands. $7 and something cent is what I paid for these headbands. And then I also needed a water hose. Discovered mine was broke and needed to fill the hot tub up for the kids. So that's what that $80 was spent on. Now, down here, this is what we did, and we did way better. I had a goal of saving $2,010 to my savings account. Actually saved $2,457. And then I had a goal of sending $1,125 extra to my mortgage and end up sending $2,164 extra to my mortgage. That's about it. That is my story in March. And so, you know, I've been thinking about this. Money tells a story. And I want you all to think about, what story is your money telling? Until next time, talk to you guys soon.